Hello everyone, welcome to the third week of our monthly deck challenge. For this week, well, before I start actually, I just wanted to say a few things. If you only have one or two decks, then you can feel free to use the same deck or alternate your decks for however you'd like to for the duration of the challenge, for whichever deck seems to match up appropriately with the deck that I'm encouraging you to use for a week. And then the other thing I wanted to mention is I have been getting some messages from people saying, this deck, this particular deck, working with this particular deck for the whole week, it's not feeling right and I'm feeling really stuck. And is it okay if I stop working with that deck and choose to work with another deck? So I just want to say to everyone that if you're really having that experience and it's just not feeling right to keep working with that deck, then of course feel free to work with a different deck. This is a challenge that's really just about kind of pushing yourself and getting to know the decks that you do have at a deeper level so that you can use them for deeper spiritual practice. So if something really isn't working for you, then please go ahead and use what is working for you. I don't want you to have that experience of bumping up against something so hard and not really getting the joy that this challenge should be bringing for you. You should feel engaged and excited about it, not pushed past your limits. So feel free to switch to a different deck or to go back to a deck you used earlier if one of the weeks working with a certain deck just doesn't feel right for you. Of course, if you find that you do cheat a little bit, that's okay too. But I would say that the primary focus is on working with this one deck. So be gentle with yourself, but have fun and allow yourself to explore. So we did storytelling and getting to know our deck last week. For this week, I'm going to encourage you to choose a deck that you might not feel the most comfortable working with. So this will be a deck that you perhaps have a lot of honor and respect for, but that a lot of times you might not always go to because either it feels really uncomfortable or like the deck is so spot on it's scary, or that the deck tells it like it is so strongly that sometimes it's a little hard to handle. So this is going to be a good week for exploring the shadow side with this deck. So let me just grab the deck that I'm going to be using. So I worked last week with the Victoria Francis. Some people are calling it the Gothic Oracle. Some people are just calling it the Victoria Francis Oracle. Very, very powerful deck. Very powerful. I would say the most strong feeling and experience I had working with that deck would be haunting. Very spot on, very accurate, and really, really, really letting me know what I was avoiding looking at in certain situations. So I was sitting with what deck I would be working with for this week, which is going to be working with a deck that's a little bit daunting for you. And I think though that the choice for me is the Mary L. Tarot. This is a deck that I have the utmost love and respect for. It's a deck that I will always have with me. It's a deck that I will always use. But it most definitely is a deck that gives it to me straight, doesn't pull any punches, and is brutally honest with me. And so there are times when I feel I need a softer energy and we'll use a different deck. But just to push the boundaries for myself this week in a healthy way, I want to work with the Mary L. Tarot. So choose a deck that you can engage with, but that can also feel kind of a little bit daunting to work with too, because you know you're getting a lot of honesty. So continue with the daily draws with this deck and really pay attention to as you're doing your daily draws. Give yourself some time for journaling when you do that, whether it's in the morning, midday, or in the evening for yourself. And pay attention to the messages that are coming through for you that you might not want to really acknowledge, but that the cards in this deck are really encouraging you to look at throughout your day or throughout the next day if you do your daily draw the night before. Be be very aware as you're working with this deck of what it is that you don't always want to acknowledge or look at within yourself, but also within the situations in your life. So you're going to continue with your daily draws, and then what I would encourage you to do for your spread this week, or for your personal reading this week, is to do a spread created by yourself. If you can do that, I would really encourage you to do that. So a self-created spread looking at the shadow. So if you already have a spread that you use involving shadow work, this would be a really great time to pull this spread out this week. But if you don't have one, or if you'd like to create a new one, I would encourage you to base the spread around questions like, what am I avoiding right now? What do I not want to acknowledge? Or why am I stuck in a certain situation? And then this should be an in-depth spread. You might even lay the spread out for 2 nights and have it on the altar, do some journal work, and then meditate with the spread the next night, do some more journal work. But allow this to be really in-depth, so deeper than 3 cards. Get really into this. Ask a lot of questions of the deck, and be very, very honest with what your intuition is telling you about the situations that you're experiencing right now. So if you choose to base this on a certain, perhaps, emotion or pattern that you keep repeating, or an experience that you keep repeating in your life that you just like to stop doing, and you'd like to get down to what's stopping you from healing from that pattern or emotion or situation or relationship or job, this is going to be a really good spread to kind of get down into that stuff. And so you might find that the spread needs to kind of progress in layers, almost like going down the stairs, deeper and deeper and deeper until you get down to what's underneath at the bottom that you're really not wanting to look at. So this is slightly different than the spread for the first week, which was the heart of the matter. This, we're really kind of getting into what's uncomfortable for us, and actually really like taking those layers off, taking some clothes off, and looking at what's really there. And the spread should end for you in such a way that you're able to see the light with the spread too. So we're really stepping into the darkness and looking at the uncomfortable sticky stuff, and then end the spread by asking for a doorway. So now that I've looked at this, how can I offer myself love and healing so that I can release this situation? And allow the cards that you draw for that answer to be more than one card if you feel comfortable with that. And really, really look at what it is that you can offer yourself love towards right now. And through love and acknowledgement, healing that and releasing the patterns that you no longer want to repeat in your life. So it's just one spread this week, but I would really encourage you to spread it out over a night or 2, maybe even 3 if that feels right for you. First night, going through the spread, doing the journal work. Second night, meditating with the spread as a whole, and then doing some journal work too. This would be a meditative practice for the second night, where I would really encourage you to start your practice in meditation in your own inner temple, as Christopher Penczak talks about in his book, The Inner Temple of Witchcraft. It's basically a sacred landscape you create astrally or inwardly for yourself to step into before you do any type of meditative practice or magical working. So I would say to you and encourage you to really start the meditation in that sacred space, that inner realm, and then from there step into the spread as a whole and experience it that way, and then allow the ending of the spread and your meditative practice to bring you back into that sacred personal landscape, one where your soul is fed and loved and protected. So this is going to help the experience to be healing instead of in any way feel unsafe for you. And again, I would encourage you not to do a scripted meditation, but to allow the spread to take you where it will take you through meditation. So it's not really a guided journey. It's really an astral journey that you're taking yourself. So this is going to be a week of deep practice, and it should feel deep. You're going to choose a deck that's going to allow you to kind of really get into stuff. So whether you're starting your your week on Thursday, which would be Thanksgiving for those of us in the States, or if you're choosing to start this journey on Sunday, really give yourself some time this week to let the work sink in, even the daily draws. Don't discount them as not a big deal, but actually really spend some time with the card each day. This might be a week where you really choose to carry your deck with you and reference the card throughout the day, whether you're working or you're taking care of children or whatever it is that you're doing, but being able to come back to those cards and looking at the card, looking at the image is going to be important. So I'm just going to show you a few images from the Mary L. Tarot in case you haven't seen them. You want to choose a deck that has vivid imagery for you too, so that you can really explore the inner realm of the card image itself. I'm sorry, this deck has nudity. I forgot to say that before I started showing the images. But really give yourself permission to do a lot of inner work. And the Mary L. Tarot is a great deck for shadow work and for really, really looking at things and not hiding from the truths within. So this is going to be a powerful week. It might be a week that you choose to repeat again for yourself throughout the year, and feel free to do that as you are called to. You might decide that you want to take this practice into a 2-week experience too. Allow your inner guidance to inform you of the best steps for you to take with this week. Be very gentle with yourself, be understanding, and allow yourself to really sink into this practice over this week. It's an important week. And it's one that can be just as beautiful as last week was in getting to know a new deck. It's just in a different way. So I am wishing you all the best in your monthly deck challenge. If you're choosing to participate, please share your experiences with me. Let me know how you're doing. For those of you who are in the States, I'd like to wish you a happy Thanksgiving. May the day be one that's filled with gratitude and joy. And remember that if you're going to have a day of gratitude, it's okay to make sure that that day is spent with people that you actually want to have in your energy field. It's okay to say no to someone who might cause you to feel drained or unsafe. So I'm wishing you all, again, happy Thanksgiving. If you're not in the States, just have a wonderful week. And sending you all many blessings and much love. I will talk to you soon. Take care.